Must be. You're not on mute.
My first cooking classes when I was 4. She's talking? No, she's connecting to audio. Oh, okay.
Awesome.
And then by the end of the month, we plan to have our soft launch to our customers.
That's a bunch of eggs.
Is all okay?
Tell mommy you had a Mommy, Mommy, what did I have to cook the dinner?
What?
Can you hear me? Yeah, they probably haven't started yet. You know, leave it right there, just turn it that way. You can put yourself on mute until they get started.
Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
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 Hey.
Good. Well, thanks for joining me. We're going to give folks a few minutes to log in and get their technology set up. So while that's happening, go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees.
Okay, somebody's feedback.
Oh, you watched it. Let's make sure our chat box is open. So click the chat bubble at the bottom of your screen. That way we can communicate, because I'm going to mute everybody so we don't get the Zoom feedback sound. So if you have any questions, just type them in over here in the chat box where I'm typing a message. And if you see my message, give me the thumbs up so I know you can see your chat box. All right, good deal. Let's see, what else can we do while we're waiting for folks to join us? If you haven't changed the name on your Zoom box, you might want to change it to your names, or I'll be calling you by your parents' name. And you may want to adjust your device so I can see your work area. That kind of helps me know where everybody is in the recipe. And we'll get started in about 3 minutes. Well, good, Naya and Noah. I'm glad you're excited. So let's make sure those hands are squeaky clean by doing our 20 to 30 minute scrub down. Get all in between your fingers, backs of your knuckles, fingertips, around your thumbs, backs of your hands, all the way up your wrists. Clean hands are the most important tool in the kitchen. So let's get our scrub-a-dub-dub on while we're waiting for folks to sign in. This is a fun recipe that we're doing today, this breakfast casserole. It's pretty hearty, so it can serve for brunch, which I guess is what we'll be doing today. We'll be having brunch. And it makes a lot, so you can feed the whole family. If you have leftovers, that's great. You just eat some more tomorrow. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. Now that everybody's hands are nice and clean. The cool thing about this breakfast casserole also is it can be made in advance. So you can make it like the night before, wrap it in plastic wrap, and then when you wake up in the morning, just pop it in the oven. It's really helpful on holidays where you want to kind of sleep in and have a big breakfast ready the next day, but you don't want to do a whole lot of cooking. So breakfast casseroles like this tend to show up on like Christmas Eve. They go in the refrigerator Christmas Eve, and then they go in the oven Christmas morning, and you have a big hearty breakfast without a whole lot of work. All right, I think we can get started by going over our mise en place. For everyone who's new, I'm Chef Asata, and to everybody, welcome to today's cooking class. Let's see. Yep, okay. Welcome to today's cooking class. We are in the Captain Planet Cooking Zoom, and we are gonna make a breakfast casserole. So the first thing we wanna do and make sure is that our oven is preheating to 350 degrees. We got that part done, right? Thumbs up if you've got your oven on. Fantastic, that's step one. Step two is we're gonna cook off our sausage. If you're using, oh wait, before we cook off, let's go over our mise en place, right? So we've got some sausage. I haven't cooked it off yet, but if you have cooked yours off already, that's fine. We're gonna need 2 mixing bowls. So I have 2 mixing bowls. I have 8 eggs. I have about 1.5 cups of milk. Got your milk. I have some cheese, an onion, a pepper, or most of a pepper, a bell pepper. I have my hash brown potatoes. Mine are the little chunks, but yours may be shreds. You want about 3 cups worth of hash brown potatoes. These are the kind that come frozen and pre-cut or pre-shredded. They're really economical and they're great to keep on hand. So you want to measure out about 3 cups of those, and they should be kind of hanging out and thawing right now. And we're going to season up with some salt and pepper. So have your salt and pepper. Oh, you can't hear me? Madison? Okay, I'm not muted. So check your settings. Okay? Can anyone else hear me? Okay, everybody else can hear me. So if you want to log out and log back in, that might fix it, okay? But otherwise, there's something going on in your settings, and I'm sorry, I'm not that Zoom adept to be able to troubleshoot. Okay, no worries. Try, here, let me type this so you can see. Try to log out and log back in. There you go. Okay, we'll need some measuring spoons because we do have some spices, some salt and pepper. Then we also have the Italian seasoning blend. Yes, Kenna, just half everything that we do because it does make a lot. If you don't have a huge bunch of people to feed, just cut the whole recipe in half. I'm also going to add some smoked paprika. And the reason I'm doing this today is because my sausage that I'm using is like maple flavored. It's a little on the sweet side. So I'm going to miss that smokiness that comes from sausage. So I'm going to put a little smoked paprika in mine. Now, I'm using pork sausage. You could use turkey sausage. You could use vegetarian sausage crumbles. It really doesn't matter. You just want to have some kind of sausagey flavor in there. All right, so let's get started. Again, Kenna, just cut everything in half that we do today, okay? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is brown this sausage, which means we need to turn our pan on to about medium and add our meat to the pan and just let it cook and brown. While that's doing that, and as it's cooking, we're going to come back to it and break up any clumps because we want our sausage to cook into crumbles. If your sausage is already cooked off, just hold off on that part because we're going to get started on the eggs next, okay? Everybody who's cooking your sausage, is your sausage in the pan? Give me a thumbs up if your sausage is working. Cool. So we'll have a spoon ready or a spatula because we're going to check back over there and break up clumps as it's cooking. Let's get started on these eggs. We're going to crack 8 eggs, or 4, Kenna, if you're doing half the recipe, into a mixing bowl. So the way I like to crack eggs is to tap it on a flat surface like the countertop. Tap, tap, and when you feel the crack, put your thumb where the crack is. Put 2 thumbs right there. And then you pull the egg apart with your thumbs. Just like that. If you get any shell in there, just use the big shell to scoop it out, because if you try to scoop it with your fingers, it's hard to get it out. So tap, tap, put your thumb where the crack is, and then pull the egg apart with your thumbs. And by tapping on a flat surface, you're making sure none of the eggshell goes into the eggs, which keeps your eggs sterile. Eggs are sterile on the inside, and you only introduce bacteria when you force the shell into the egg. I'm going to crack all these eggs into the bowl. My sausage is starting to sizzle. So once I get my eggs cracked, I'm going to go give my sausage a stir. Now, if you have really large eggs, you could probably just use 6. But these are just like the regular grocery store eggs. I have some friends with chickens, and sometimes their eggs are really big. Okay, I'm going to stir my sausage up a little bit while it's cooking. And anytime you stir a pan or a pot that's on the stove, you want to make sure you hold on to the handle, because pots and pans can want to walk away from you, and that can be dangerous. So always hold on to the handle and then stir once you've got a good hold on it. Smells good already. All right, just checking. Everybody's oven is preheating, right? 350 degrees. Let's get that oven on to 350 degrees. I'm going to make that public, sorry. Okay. So our sausage is browning in one pan, and we cracked 8 eggs into a mixing bowl. Give me a thumbs up once all your eggs are cracked. Cool. Madeline's ready. Takaya, Devin, Naya, Madison, Elizabeth, Hannah. Great. Great. All right, Gabby, are you just joining us? Okay, so far, all we're doing is browning our sausage. If yours is cooked already, that's fine. And we just cracked 8 eggs into a bowl. Okay? All right, now that all of our eggs are in the bowl, let's go ahead and add our milk. We've got 1 1/3 cups of milk. And I'll type this in our chat box. We're going to season that also with a half or a quarter teaspoon each of salt and pepper. And then you're going to add your half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Great. So my eggs are in. I'm going to add a quarter teaspoon of salt. Whoop. A little heavy-handed. Some pepper. And a half teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And then I'm going to jump over and check on my sausage again. The breakfast casserole. So my sausage is browned on one side. I'm just going to keep chopping it up with my spatula until it gets chunky and brown all over. Charlie, that is something. Breaking up any clumps along the way. See how I'm just using the tip, the front part of my spatula to break up that meat? Just using it to chop, chop, chop. And serve. Okay. Now you want to grab your whisk or a fork, come back to your egg mixture and whisk it all together, okay? Got our salt, our pepper, our Italian seasoning. And then, like I said, I want to add a quarter teaspoon of smoked paprika just because I like the flavor of that. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. It's just a little flavor that I like to enhance it with. So I'll type that in. If you want, you can add a quarter teaspoon of smoked paprika, right? And then whisk it all together. Whisk it all together. Here we go. Move that salt and pepper out of the way. And just whisk a little gently in the beginning because you don't want to splash your eggs all over the place. And then you can get a little more vigorous until it all comes together and it's uniform in color. And that's it. You don't have to beat it to death. You can just whisk it until it's all uniform in color. That's all. Great. Now you can set your egg mixture aside. Okay, we're gonna work on the rest of our ingredients. Grab your other mixing bowl. Grab your other mixing bowl, and to that, we're gonna add the remaining of our ingredients. So if you have a pepper, you wanna dice up about half of a pepper. And the way I'm gonna do that is, let's see if I can show you up here. Peppers have these panels, right? They have sides. So you can cut a whole panel off of a pepper just by cutting straight down when you hold your pepper up. And then on the inside, you'll see these membranes and seeds. Just use your fingers to pull that out. If it's a little hard to hold, you can use the tip of a knife to slice it out. But we don't want the membranes or the seeds. But once you have a side or a panel of a pepper, you can cut those into strips, just like that. And those strips, you turn 90 degrees and slice again, and you will have diced your pepper. So if that's a little tricky, get help from an adult to help you chop up about half of a bell pepper. But the key really is to slice it into strips, then gather your strips and slice that little pile, turn it 90 degrees, into diced peppers. Okay? You can put those diced peppers, that half a pepper, into your mixing bowl. So dice half a pepper and half an onion. Half a pepper, half an onion, and add that to your mixing bowl. You can save that half an onion and half a pepper for another recipe. So take off both ends of my half an onion and then remove that outer skin so that all you have is just a smooth exterior. And essentially I do the same thing as I did with the pepper. I slice it into strips, turn the whole thing 90 degrees and cut down, and I have a diced pepper. That goes into the mixing bowl. Next, we're going to add our potatoes to the mixing bowl. That's 3 cups of potatoes. And we're going to season this again with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And then add your sausage. Mine is conveniently cooked just now. Okay. Adding my sausage. my 1/4 teaspoon of salt and pepper. How's everybody doing? We've got onions, peppers, sausage, potatoes, all in this bowl. Okay, the last thing to go into this bowl is 1½ cups of cheese. Some shredded cheese, 1½ cups, which means you're gonna have 1/2 cup left. That's great because that's gonna go on top of our casserole. So I gotta get a cup measure. So I can measure out my 1½ cups of cheese. And I'm using a cheddar jack blend. You can use all kinds of cheeses here, whatever your favorites are. Okay, and then we'll just save 1/2 cup of cheese to go on the top in a little while. We are almost ready to put it all together. I just realized my 9½ by 13 baking dish still has a cake in it. So I'm gonna do mine in 2 smaller cake pans. There we go. So your mixture should look something like this, right? Okay. That sausage mixture with the cheese is gonna go into your pans, but spray your pans with cooking spray. Okay, a 9 by 13 pan would be perfect. But I'm gonna divvy this up between 2 smaller cake pans, or pie pan in a cake pan, just because my big pan is occupied. So give it a spray, okay? And once your pan is ready, put your sausage mixture into your baking dish. Okay, you're gonna spray your baking pan. You're gonna spray your baking pan and then transfer your sausage and potato mixture into your baking pans. Spread it out in an even layer. Get all that cheese in there. Okay, spread it out and then pour the egg mixture over the top. Okay, so we've got your egg mixture. Give it another whisk just to incorporate everything, and then pour it right over your sausage mixture. Might want to tilt your pan a little bit just to make sure that egg mixture is kind of evenly distributed. Yep, just a little bit. Don't pour anything out. All right, and then the last step is to add cheese. Remember that half a cup of cheese? Put that on top. Just sprinkle that cheese right over the top. Might get a little more here. All right, how's everybody looking? I see cheese sprinkling. That's good. I see egg pouring. That's good. It means we're all kind of pretty much on the same page here. Great. All right. Now, this whole concoction goes into your oven, which is preheating at 350 degrees, and you bake it for quite a while, like 55 minutes. That's almost an hour. If you have 2 pans like I do, or you made a half batch like Kenna, it'll probably be done in about 35 to 40 minutes. But if you have one big casserole, it'll take about an hour. So let's get it in the oven and set our timer for 55 minutes. And again, because I have a small pan, I'm going to set mine for 35. So Kenna, set your oven for 35 minutes. So we're going to bake at 350 for 55 minutes if you have one big pan. If you have a small pan, check it in 35 minutes. All right. Do we have our casseroles in the oven for the most part? I see Madison and Harrison are still working. All right, guys. So who knows what time it is? Unmute yourself. I know Naya and Noah know. What time is it, Naya and Noah?
Cleanup time.
It's cleanup time. Let's do it. Yes. We got 55 whole minutes to make this kitchen spick and span. So if you have leftover onions and peppers, they need to be wrapped up and put away. You've got extra cheese and eggs out. Let's get that stuff in the fridge. We got to put our herbs and spices back. Make sure the tops are on tight. All these dirty dishes get to go over to the sink. And because we were working with eggs today, we want to make sure we rinse out all of that stuff so it doesn't sit up and get crusty. In fact, you could probably go ahead and hand wash it because we got plenty of time before that breakfast casserole is done. So once your casserole is in the oven, it's cleanup time. Okay, let's spend about 5-10 minutes cleaning up, okay? And then I'll meet you guys right back here.
Now you can talk to her directly.
What's next after we clean up?
Maybe she's not.
After we clean up, we wait. Our food's in the oven, and so we're just gonna let it bake. Make sure you have a place cleared away for you to put your hot casserole when it comes out of the oven, right? Because we don't want to put a hot pan like that directly on a counter or on a cutting board because it can melt. So the next thing we're gonna do is make sure we have a place to put our casserole. And we're gonna make sure we have hot, clean, dry oven mitts or kitchen towels. Because when you reach into that oven, you don't wanna have damp oven mitts or kitchen towels because it can cause a steam burn.
Okay.
And because we've been wiping down counters and stuff, we might have some damp towels, but not the same ones you want to use to reach in the oven. But that's it, pretty much. That is the end of this class because the rest of the time is spent cleaning up and waiting patiently for our casserole to finish. Is it starting to smell good yet?
Yes.
Yeah, it is starting to smell good. That's going to be a nice brunch. So one thing I would like to ask for you guys to do is before you dig in and eat your casserole, take a picture. I'd love to see the finished product. And then send the picture to me so I can see how you did, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope you enjoy your brunch, your breakfast casserole.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. I'll see you guys next time, okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye. Good job, everybody. I can't wait to see your pictures. Bye. See you next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye. Nice job cleaning up today.